Collective, what is going on? Happy day, happy Sunday. I hope you're doing well today. Thank you for joining me. I am Deborah. This is Purusha Intuitive, and we're going to be looking at the collective energy for the week. So let's get into it. It's been kind of a quiet and relaxful weekend, which I like. I feel like it is preparation for some things to come, so stay tuned. We'll look at it. We'll do a little bit of astrology, pull some cards. I always like to start out with a energy cleansing as well, and I ran out of smudge sticks, so I was looking around to see what kind of incense I had. I do have Palo Santo, but I came across this frankincense and was very inspired to use it. It is just an incense stick, so it won't have the same effect as the smudge bundle, but it's equally as powerful, if not more so. And each herb, anything that you smudge or use for cleansing, represents different things. And I really like frankincense because it feels really powerful. Not only is it what they used to bless Jesus when he was born in the Bible, but it also just carries a lot of properties around success and cleansing and purification, really weeding out the things that don't serve us anymore. It's in a way to protect us, to keep us safe and keep us focused on what our ideas are, what our goals are that we have in mind, so we don't get off track. It is used in association with our self-will, our self-power and mastery, the ability to control our ego so that we can be a quote-unquote master manifester. Ooh, so powerful. Anyway, I think it is powerful. I think we're all in a place right now collectively where we need to see some things come through. We need to see some good things come through. Validation for the work that we're putting in, especially the harder work, especially around the things that, even if it is more challenging, difficult to let go of, and we know it's the right thing for us, we really need to just be honored in that process. And I do feel like it's coming. We'll get more into it, but we'll start with this cleansing first. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is blocking the highest and best from coming through. Fear, doubt, insecurity, lack of value, lack of worth, illusion, anger, frustration, lower vibrations. Just cleanse that from our being. Allow us to tap into our success, our abundance, what wants to come in for us. Cleanse away what does not serve us anymore. Help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, Mama Love. Here we go. Amen. It is burning in the background as well. It's off camera, but just so you know, it's still, I'll let that burn out just so we get the full essence. Yeah, the smoke is not as magical as when you use the smudge bundles. I did think of using a hot coal, but that can be a little overwhelming for a setting like this. Okay. I really like this energy of request. It popped out as I was shuffling and, contemplating, hearing this even before I started this reading. There is this value of asking Spirit for what you want and not being ashamed of it. Because there is so much shifting right now with Pluto in retrograde, a lot is changing, both on the surface level as well as the deeper level within us. We need to not be afraid to say, you know what, I really want that thing. That is what Aquarian energy is all about. It's about being innovative, not being afraid to march to the beat of your own drum, to ask, to go after what you want. And when Pluto moves into Aquarius officially, after October, when it's retrograding, it's going to give us an opportunity to live in that way. That's why we see a lot of different avenues popping up across the collective, ways to make money, ways to bring your vision, your brand, your ideas of living a successful life into this world. There's so many different channels to be able to do that nowadays. And so we need to find that courage, find that strength, that empowerment in order to make that happen. I'm talking a lot about this because, as I mentioned in the very beginning, the weekend's been nice. Like, I feel like it's been a little more low-key energy. Even the weather today, it's like a little gloomy. It's kind of one of those nice summer rainy days where you can just kind of chill in the morning, etc. Because we're finding balance, right? We've been putting a lot of hard work, energy into the things that are going on around us. And when we don't have that work-life balance, or when we're not being intentional about the time of our health, wellness, well-being, getting enough rest, eating the right things, etc., we need that time of rebalancing. And I feel astrologically, the beginning of the week is giving us a little more space to do so. I do feel like the energy is going to pick up as the week progresses, so keep that in mind. It's preparation. I was hearing, after I did the reading yesterday, I was hearing, we're, especially the collective reading in the shorts, the energy we got was relax. So take some time to chill. It's the same vibe today. Astrologically, we're supported to do so. It's good to just really listen to what our heart wants. Even if you want to go out and do something fun, that's fabulous, right? But just make sure you have the time, the energy, the space to do so, or else it's going to feel like you didn't get that rest that you were looking for. Okay, so Champion of Blades in this deck is the Knight of Swords, making plans of action, not being afraid to be a little bit more rigid with your schedule is what I'm hearing. Rigidity in the way that you're allowing yourself time for everything you need to do, and this is not just like getting that laundry list done. It's not about that because sometimes we have to take those mundane responsibilities off so we can focus on our well-being, check in with ourselves. How is our heart? How is our mind, our soul? The sun is in conjunction with Venus right now, which I really love, because the more we love ourselves, the more we take care of ourselves, the more that is going to be honored, right? And we get the Wheel of Fortune coming in right off the bat as we make time and room for balance. So if you're feeling a little bit all over the place, set aside some time, rest, meditate, relax. Don't do anything, spend time, do some breathing techniques. If you don't have a bunch of extra time, we all have 5-10 minutes. I think that's a fair guess, a fair assessment. YouTube provides a lot of different guided meditations. You can read something inspirational. Just read something that, or give yourself that space where you're not doing anything vigorous or that's stressing you out or making you feel like, I gotta get back to everything. That type of vibe. It's supposed to help you recenter. When we recenter, we have a clear idea of where we're headed. When we're all over the place, it's really hard to kind of put everything in order. And that's why we take a step back. And that's why we surrender a little bit in order to do so. This is going to bring a lot more balance into your home family life. Four of Cups is really talking about how don't take this for granted, right? I think the challenge with modern day is there's always something to do. And that can even be in our quiet times, quiet spaces, right? You can get on social media, the endless scroll. There's a bunch of different ways to occupy our time. And that's why I was saying, like, Spirit just wants you to not do anything right now. Take time out for yourself, especially when you don't have as many responsibilities on your plate. It's going to allow you to have that space of rest and reprieve. It's going to allow you to feel a little bit more grounded, especially if you are feeling the feels emotionally. The moon is in conjunction with Mars at the beginning of the week. And so we're feeling a lot of responsibility around what we should be achieving or how things should look. That, again, is also why we're creating space for ourselves at the beginning of the week to get a little bit more clear around our direction. So we're not adding in a bunch of extra to-dos or getting lost in the things that maybe could take a beat. You know, they don't have to be accomplished today. We also have like a lot of feelings around what we, you know, not only those shoulds, but it's like the guilt, the responsibility about being a better version of ourselves. We're seeing the loopholes. We're seeing the places we are taking things for granted or not showing up as the best version, as I was saying. And so it's making it hard. It's making it conflicting. 5 of Wands talking about how when we're not just like, it's almost like this internal battle within ourselves, right? We're fighting the good versus evil, the devil versus the angel on our shoulder. And so just be aware, right? A lot of value comes with awareness. We have a lot of support astrologically in the beginning of the week to do this. And that's why Spirit's really giving that extra confirmation. Don't slough off. Don't be intentional about your rest as well as your activity. You know, only do what you have to do. Organize, you know, revamp your schedule, giving yourself extra time and space, and then make sure that you are scheduling in that space. There's a lot of beauty that comes from it. We end up just really, I don't know, falling in love with ourselves on a deeper level. We have a little bit more balance. We're more patient. There's more peace and calm around what we're navigating through. We start feeling more empowered with that moon in Aries. It's like, I can do this. You know, it gives us that sense of like, when we take a little time to rest, it gives us that boost of encouragement. Like, yeah, I got this. I can make this happen. Finally. And there's a lot of things working for us, like I said, at the beginning of the week that's helping us to do so. We're balanced within our communication. We're practical with how we're thinking about things, how we're approaching things. Being in Gemini season is giving the opportunity to see things from a completely different perspective and make adjustments where need be. So, and you know, even though we might not like it, you know, it might mean that we have to actually like grow up a little bit and be more mature or put into action something we don't really want to. It's going to help us. It's going to help us long term. This is about setting that foundation for long term. I was hearing that as well before I started the reading. So this is setting roots down is what I'm hearing with this remember tree. It's plugging roots into who you are. Remembrance is coming through that value of like connecting with those parts of yourself that have kind of been swept under the rug, that you haven't been paying enough attention to, because you're gonna need it. Like I said, not that I'm like foreshadowing this ominous thing, but I do feel like we see it actually in the astrology, I should just say, Venus becomes square to Saturn and the sun becomes square to Saturn as well. I'll touch on that a little bit further in the reading, but basically that talks about the places that we start feeling like good about ourselves, that we're like, I can do that, I can make this happen, I'm ready to like change this thing or implement this new thing. As we hit the end of the week, we're going to be starting to second guess ourselves. It's like the work component, you know, putting in the work is going to be like, Wah, wah. No, I mean, that's all things, right? Or, I mean, I'm a person who likes to get it done, get it in. So sometimes when we have to be a little bit more patient, strategic, aware about how we are implementing things, it can be a little bit annoying, you know? And this is really, again, just helping you ground into your vision a little bit more. You have something beautiful that's in front of you that you're cultivating, you're working towards. Showing up as the Empress is that reminder that you can bring this into your life. And again, it's more support throughout the beginning of the week. Midweek, we still have it. We're starting to see some of the tension rise because we're starting to get challenged around the people, places, and things that are trying to put us down, that are trying to make us second guess ourselves. There's been a lot of stepping stones to get to where you're at right now. And I feel like some of those proverbial stones are gonna reappear, resurface. You feel like you have your shit together. This Empress is represented as the monarch butterfly, which is like so powerful. That value of transformation. You are different in how you're approaching things, and different in a good way. Yeah, I think most of the annoyance, most of the frustration is not seeing the results that we had anticipated at this point. Remember your power. Don't let that slip. Be aware, be mindful, right? That's what the magician is all about. He knows how to utilize all the elements in his environment to get to his goal, to get to what he's wanting to do. Make that manifestation happen. And sometimes that needs to be, we need to be aware of the places where we're resistant, right? Where the places we don't want to put in the work, or it's a little too annoying, or we don't want to deal with that person or that situation, etc. Because this guy, the King of Orbs, is showing up. You know, this to me feels like a little bit of that tension that is mounting, that is building as the week progresses or towards the end of the week. This feels like someone who's not on your side, not on your team, definitely has a masculine undertone to it. It doesn't have to, gender doesn't really matter, but it feels very combative. It feels like someone who is pushing, forcing their agenda. Mars is in Aries right now, and it's surrounded by Chiron and the North Node, which are all about our healing, our growth, our ability to rise above and, actually like be a better version for ourselves, not get sucked into someone's BS, someone who's trying to make things difficult, someone who's trying to, control, manipulate the situation. This feels like someone who is very angry with how things are working out. Mars is square to Pluto as the week progresses. And so it just doesn't like the changes. That's really what that's talking about. And you have to continue to not be sucked back into this person or situation. That's also why this remembrance card is coming up, because we are still combating a lot of past energies, a lot of people, places, and things that are wanting to lure us back in, that are missing us. But I hear that this remembrance is giving us a peek into how far we've come, where we've come from, the work that we've done. And you showing up as the Empress is giving you that confirmation that you have done all the work, and to not be afraid of getting taken down memory lane, trusting yourself, trusting your confidence, your ability to know that you have the wisdom now. You have the wisdom to make good choices for yourself. There is some fear, there is some hesitancy around this, but your intuition is speaking to you very strongly, very heavily. It won't shut up. No, I'm kidding. No, I mean, I think we can tap into that channel anytime we want, right? So right now, Neptune is in Pisces and Saturn is in Pisces. So Neptune in Pisces is going to heighten our intuition, period. It actually makes things, it's like, can be a little too much. I'm not going to lie. Because it infiltrates our dream world. We can get intuitive messages, downloads all the time. So sometimes things come through that it's like buying into illusion. It can just be a little bit messy, right? And with Saturn in Pisces, it's like we feel a lot of feels around putting the work into practice, building that foundation for ourselves. It's not because we don't want it. It's just because it's like a new way of doing something. It's a new way of showing up. And anytime we have to make changes or transitions, it can be a little arduous. It is work, don't get it twisted. But the more that we do tap into our intuition, the easier it's going to be. And we're going to get confirmation and validation right away when we use our intuition. It's going to be like, boom, like you're going to get that feeling of like pride and excitement. And I did something right. Hooray for me, right? Always congratulate yourself. Things are transitioning. Remember that. Don't get lost in the fear of like, it's always going to be this way, especially when past people, situations pop up that take you down memory lane, that remind you of things that maybe it's a little humbling, or you're not like pumped about, or you do have to have a conversation with someone that is not your vibe, or you don't want to, etc. But it's okay. It's allowing you to release past energy so you can move forward. It's allowing you to look at the places of frustration, of sadness, of pain, and be better next time. That's all it's about. It's not about you looking at those so you feel bad about who you are or you get lost in that space of grief. It's about you looking at that so when you come into that situation or a similar situation like that next time around, you choose better for yourself. And that's where at the end of the week, that Sun and Venus square to Saturn is really playing on our feelings and emotions. But the more we understand that and detach from like, I'm a horrible person, or my life's never gonna change, or this sucks, or whatever, the more we detach from that, actually the better we feel around the changes we do have to make. We feel more empowered, more inspired that we can actually do it. Yeah, it sucks. I think that's the bottom line, but that is the push and pull energy. That is the duality of Gemini season, where it's like, whether we like it or not, we have to be honest in order to make changes. We have to be aware. And, the more we can be at peace with that, the better. The better for our own mental. We have a lot positively aspecting Jupiter, which I really love. Neptune, Pluto, Black Moon, Lilith, as well as the vertex point. So where these changes are being made, where we are seeing reward for our progress, for putting the energy in the right way, the better it's going to feel. And the more confident we're gonna get, I think some of this is just like the annoyance of change. And I feel like there is this wake up call around, I'll clarify this actually. Let me look at this real quick. Okay, yeah, so I think that there's more healing available. I think that more healing is happening than what you're giving credit for. I think be patient, try to be open-minded, be non-judgmental in the process. What's this wake-up call? What's this wake-up call for the collective? Ooh, okay. Champion of Blades. Didn't we already get this guy? Sorry, let me just look real quick. Maybe he popped out. Did he pop out when I was shuffling? Okay, maybe that's where I'm getting Maybe that's where I'm getting it twisted. Sorry, it's been so long in the reading, I forgot. Okay, so Champion of Blades, right? This is about, like being better about how you are showing up for yourself, being better about the plans, the choices that you are making. I feel like you're having some awareness around this already. I don't think this is anything new under the sun. I think in situations where you've been a little bit like on the fence about things, there's enough that has happened. There's enough that your intuition has picked up where you're going to know, again, that right decision to make. You're going to, irregardless, we'll see if it comes out. I just saw here, as I'm saying it, I just saw the blindfold card. So we have to pay attention to the areas that we just kind of like put our blinders on. Oh, it's fine, pretended, swept things under the rug. The forget-me-not popped out at the same time, just reminding us of that kind of past energy resurfacing more towards the end of the week. Like I said, it feels like, because that's where we're starting to feel a little more resistance. That's where some of those things are going to be pulled on our heartstrings, a little bit of that control manipulation. Yeah, the shadow self is going to be, triggered a little bit. So that is why, beginning of the week, we are preparing this foundation. We're preparing this foundation to feel really confident and strong. It's not only in who we are, but it's in our decisions, the decisions that we're making, the way we're going about things, how we're managing ourselves, the way that we shut ourselves down, that we self-medicate, that we try to not be present in our own life, how we need to transition that, the things that we need to do in order to be better, a better version, right? And it's going to actually, because it's helping you build more stability, right? Like the places that we just kind of turn a blind eye to, we forget about the long term. We forget about how is this actually going to help make us stable and supported, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, especially when we're young, right? Because we're just kind of trying to figure out what the F we're doing. So sometimes bad habits creep in, or, places of like working with people, places and things, relationships, etc. that, Pluto retrograde, Pluto moving into Aquarius is shining a heavy light on. And now we're in more of a position to say, okay, what does the future look like? What does the long term look like? Having that bird's eye perspective with this telescope energy right here, right? Like being able to look at the big picture and then reflect on what patterning within you is keeping you from that. It can be a person, it can be a way of showing up in your life, a thing you think about yourself, giving in to too much fear and anxiety, limiting yourself. There's so many ways that can manifest. And then just saying, does it really serve what I'm trying to do? Does it serve what I'm trying to grow and build? Or is it becoming this huge ass obstacle I need to get out of the way, right? So with that being said, collective, thank you for your time, energy, always. I hope this reading helped. I'm excited for this week. It feels good. Oh, we also have a new moon. I totally forgot to mention this. We have a new moon on Thursday in Gemini. So that's also part of why we're in this place of rebalancing. The waxing, gibbous crusting, the waxing phase, the waning phase of the moon cycle allows us to release, to let go, to surrender, and find more balance. Because that new moon is about new beginnings, starting fresh and moving forward. So just keep that in mind. I'll do a new moon video reading later this week, and stay tuned for the weeklies. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always sending all the love and blessings your way.